Fact of the day.
Fact of the day.
Hello, hi, and welcome to Fact of the Day with me, Mark Lotsu. Danielle Lloyd will choose the sex of her baby. It's here and it's actually real. Even though it's been going on for years, it's not until someone who's in the public spotlight, someone like model and former Miss Great Britain Danielle Lloyd, chooses to use science in a way that others perhaps disagree with, it's not until then that you realise just how far science has progressed and what we have available to us now. She was being interviewed on Radio 5 Live about choosing the sex of her next child. She currently has 4 boys and she's absolutely desperate to have a girl, and she's going to use a process called gender selection to make that happen, actually selecting for a girl over a boy. Gender selection is where you select for a girl baby over a boy baby, or a boy over girl, whichever you prefer. In the interview, she says she's got reservations based on how other people might think about it, and this is one of those topics where there's a massive divide for and against, and reasons in both camps. And she also explains that she understands some women can't conceive, and therefore for her, who already has 4 boys, she should be thankful for the boys she's got, and not go through this process of gender selection. So there's some possibilities as to how this can be done, and for both that I'll discuss today, they both need IVF. So for the first process, she'll go through IVF, and then the sperm will be micro-sorted. That means the sperm carry either an X chromosome, which means that the offspring will be female, or they carry a Y chromosome, which means that the offspring will be male. So they're separated. The X chromosome sperm and the Y chromosome sperm are then separated. All of the X chromosome sperm are then allowed to fertilise the eggs. So then all of the embryos that are produced will all be female. All of the Y chromosome sperm will be discarded. Then, as the embryos start to develop, they'll then be implanted into her womb. So she'll be guaranteed to have a female baby. This process occurs before the sperm fertilise the eggs. So you take the sperm, sort them into X and Y, you get rid of the Y, the ones which could lead to a male baby, and you only allow the X sperm to fertilise the eggs to produce embryos, which then will all be female. The second way I'm going to discuss is pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. This is where you go through IVF, and then you have all of your embryos. You then do a genetic analysis of those embryos to see which ones will produce female babies and which ones will produce male babies. You then discard the embryos which would lead to male babies, and you only use the embryos which would lead to female babies and implant them into the womb. So obviously with this way, the sperm fertilizes the egg, but then you're discarding the embryos which could lead to male babies. So she's got 4 boys. She wants a girl. She's desperate to have a girl. That's why she's doing it. It's currently illegal in this country, so she's going to Cyprus to choose the embryo, have it implanted, then obviously come back. So you will clearly have a view on this process. So just bear in mind what has happened and what still may continue in other countries like India and China and Nepal, where you don't have this level of gender selection. So in some situations, the mother will have the fetus tested to see if it's a boy or a girl, and then if it's a girl, the fetus is usually aborted, or in some extreme cases where they don't have access to technology to identify the sex of the baby whilst it's still in the womb, they wait until the baby is born, and then if it's a girl, the baby is killed, and if it's a male child, then it is raised, because it's more advantageous for families in some countries to have male offspring over female offspring. So that's what happens in some countries. So putting it into perspective, does that change your view on this method of gender selection, either microsort or pre-implantation genetic diagnosis? So if you could determine the sex of your next child, would you use one of these 2 processes? Please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye, love you, bye, love you, bye.